First up on the agenda this evening are presentations and public comment. Our first item tonight is a very happy one. We're here to swear in a new Riverside Police Patrol Officer, Chief Weitzel.
I'd ask Officer Johnson to step up, stand over here. I'd ask the clerk, did you want to swear in first and then have me address the board?
Whatever you prefer.
That would be great.
All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, DeCarlo Johnson II,
I, DeCarlo Johnson II,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Patrol Officer
of the Office of Patrol Officer
for the Village of Riverside, Illinois,
for the Village of Riverside, Illinois,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
President, board members, and Manager Francis, I am honored to introduce you to DeCarlo Johnson. I'm going to tell you a little bit about DeCarlo before he comes up. I'll ask him to introduce his family in a moment, and if he wants to address the board, to do so. It's been a long road. He's been with us for about a year, but as this board knows, it's a great investment. I'd like you to know DeCarlo was the #1 candidate on the list when it was posted by the Police and Fire Board. We moved quickly at that time. We had an opening to hire. Make no mistake, DeCarlo was on other lists. There were other police agencies competing for him. He has a vast military experience. If he wants to address, he can. It's in his resume I've submitted to you. The hiring process really was testing, getting on our list, ending up #1, then deciding that we wanted to make a conditional job offer, going through medical exams, going through an extensive background, being accepted, then having to go through the same process to get into the police academy, then being in the police academy for 4 months, which DeCarlo attended the Cook County Sheriff's Police Academy. While at the academy, he graduated #1 in firearms. Hopefully he does not have to use that in Riverside, but I say that it's because of his military experience. He was the best firearms candidate that they had in the academy. He came out, went into the field training program. As you see, some of the fellow officers are here, and some of his officers that trained him during that 4-month period are here. And then he went into what's called the shadow program, where he's allowed to be in a squad car on his own, but he's not allowed to answer calls on his own. There's always a second police car sent until the field training officers can certify to me that he's able to patrol the streets on his own, not only as a law enforcement officer and for his safety, but for somebody that didn't grow up here, it took DeCarlo a little bit to learn our streets. And I want to tell you a couple things I learned. I met DeCarlo's family at his graduation. Myself, Lieutenant Lauer, and the deputy chief were at his graduation. And I can tell you, he comes from just an outstanding family. When I first met his family there, we sat and talked after the graduation, after DeCarlo accepted his award for firearms, after I met his classmates. I had some time to spend with his family, and I want to say that you raised a fantastic son. He's an outstanding, before I even talk to you about a police officer, he's an outstanding individual, so I really congratulate you on that. I'll have you introduce them when you come up. One story I wanted to tell about DeCarlo before he takes the stand is, recently, I received a phone call I've never received before from the principal at St. Mary's School. So DeCarlo was assigned to an event at St. Mary's, and it was going to be an outside event, but the weather was poor. So they moved the event into the gymnasium. And he decided that he was going to show the St. Mary's class how to dance. And she sent me not only photos, but the videos of the music that he was leading the dance. And I'm too old to tell you the band. I would never know them. It wasn't, but She called me to tell me how much that connection made to the students there. And I thought that was a very high compliment for somebody who's a brand-new police officer. So I'm very proud to have him. I think the officers are very proud to have DeCarlo. He's an outstanding individual. I think when he stands next to me, you kind of look at the old and you look at the new, what the new officers are like. There's a big difference here. But I would congratulate you, and I'd ask you to come up to the podium and please introduce your family, and if you'd like to address the board, you're more than welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Manager Francis, President Sales, trustees of the board, Chief, also giving a warm welcome to my family and the police officers, the men and women of the Department of Riverside. First off, I want to say just thank you for this opportunity. It's truly an honor and a blessing to stand before you today. Before I go into anything, the one thing I can say is that when coming up, you never come up alone, all right? And I have an amazing family that I pretty much will want to ask to stand. Starting off first is my father here, has the same name as me, DeCarlo Johnson, so you see where I get the second from. My brother Sam, a best friend of mine, and Paul, my fiance Raymond, my mother, Tanya here. When it comes to the values and disciplines that I've attained, it started at home, and it started with these individuals that you see before me today. You all have to see. Fun fact about me, as the chief has said, I am a military veteran. I've been in the military for 15 years prior to coming into and taking on this position as an officer. And throughout that time in the military, there were a vast majority of things that you learned in there, all right? Not only do you learn your technical and tactical capabilities, as well as leadership, but you also learn what it means to have values, standards, all right? Not only for yourself, but amongst people that you serve with as well. And the one thing, when you talk about men of service, is that one word that comes in there that comes to mind is that root word, to serve, that really gets me. One thing I can say with that, coming into this department, is that you have men and women who are built to serve. And not only, not everybody that stands before you today, as far as officers, have been a part of the training program that I've been a part of, but everybody had a root in making me the officer that I am today. So I want to say thanks to you all for that. And one thing I can say leading up into that is that the disciplines do not stop there. One of the things that I did like when I came into this department is the fact of the values and morals that this department definitely has. And it mirrored a lot of the values that are already attained while serving in the military. And not only that, but you also have individuals who like to have fun with the department as well. So with that, one of the things that I can say is that moving forward, I wish to continue on with those values. And now that I've finished my service with the military and have had the opportunity in order to serve my country, now I want to be a service to you all and being able to serve the community with the Riverside Police Department. Thank you.
I guess the only thing I would like to say on behalf of the board, Officer Johnson, you're welcome. You're joining a highly respected and distinguished department, as I know that you already know, under the leadership of Chief Weitzel, who is unequaled, in my opinion. We wish you a long and safe tenure here. And to your family and to your future wife, I want to pledge to you on behalf of this board that we will make sure that he has all the resources he needs to stay safe. So thank you for sharing him with us. Thank you, Chief Watson.
Thank you.